All right, guys, I think we got it now. So, the system wasn't letting me do anything, so it was kind of frozen. So now we are here, we are good, so we can go ahead and get started with this lesson for today. So it's just always one of those things where the enemy is always trying to do something. So uh, he's always trying to find ways. So we're not going to let any technical difficulties stop us from doing what God has wanted us to hear on this Sunday. All right. So first, to your teacher, Mr. Stevenson. Um, and of course, today it looks like we're going to talk about a few covenants. Right. And let me go ahead and pray. Lord, we thank you. We thank you for this day. We thank you for the many blessings. We find out any hindrances when it comes to the internet connections or any type of backlash or anything that tries to happen. Lord. We lay everything at your feet and in your hands, and we allow you to do the things that you were to do. In your name I pray. Amen. All right. So, like I said, today we are talking about the covenants. And I think I may have about maybe three of them. But we'll do the usual. It'll have me read some scriptures and then I will have some questions, things just like that, the typical things that we do. All right. So the first one is about the covenant of Noah. All right, and what it is, it's reading, and it's just reading just an update or you know certain things about it. All right, so it says the covenant of Noah. The first covenant we find is with Noah. The descendants of Adam and Eve had corrupted the earth in every way, doing only evil all the time. Therefore, God floods the earth, destroying his creations, only saving Noah and his family. After the flood, God makes promises to Noah. So, that's the Noah's, the story that we all know about Noah's Ark and things along the lines of that. So that's exactly what that is. That is talking about what he said, the Lord flooded the earth. Right. So the first scripture passage that we're going to read, and then I have some questions on that one. We're coming out of Genesis chapter 9, verse 8 through 17. Right, so I'm going to read that, so bear with me. All right. All right. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you, and with every living creature that was with the birds and the livestock and all the wild animals, all of these that came out of the ark with you. Every living creature on earth, I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of the flood. Never again will there be a flood that destroys the earth. And God said, this is a sign of the covenant I am making between me and you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all generations to come. I have my rainbows in the cloud, and it will also be a sign of my covenant between me and the earth. However, whenever I bring clouds over the earth and a rainbow appears in the clouds, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and all living creatures of every kind on earth. So God said to Noah, this is a sign of the covenant I have established between me and all life on earth. And that in itself was actually really powerful, just thinking about it and hearing about it that way. All right. So we got 4 questions for this one. All right. To whom does God make this promise? All right. The promise is talking about. So to whom did God make this promise? Number 2, what does God promise in this covenant? So this, like I said, this is the first covenant. So what did God promise in this covenant? Question number 3. What sign does God give as a reminder to all future generations? What sign does God give as a reminder to all future generations? And question number 4. What does Noah have to do in return? What does Noah have to do in return? All right, so jumping back up to question number 1. It said, to whom does God make this promise? He promised it to Noah, his sons, their offspring, so the descendants, as well as every living creature. All right. Question number 2. What does God promise in this covenant? And he promised to not destroy the earth again by flood. So he just promised that he will never flood the earth again. All right. Number 3. What sign does God give as a reminder to all future generations? So what does he show to let us know that he's not going to do it again? And that's the sign of the rainbow. When we see those rainbows, like, after a rainy day, that's just, and we see them up in the sky or anything, that's just God letting us know that it may have rained or been on the verge of rain, but it is not going to flood the earth because he promised that he will not do that again. And number 4, what does Noah have to do with return after all of this? Nothing. He was already blessed to have his family and his descendants be able to continue on the path and not be destroyed like everything else. All right. All right. So let's see. So that was covenant number 1. Let's jump into covenant number 2. And this one says the covenant with Abraham. All right. And that one, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. All right, again, Genesis 12, 1 through 3. All right, and this reads, the Lord had said to Abraham, it's said in different ways, but it's just the same person. Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land, and I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you, I will curse. And the people of the earth, I will bless through you. All right. So, not as many scriptures as in the last year, but just because it's Lord scriptures, it is still very powerful information. All right. So, questions for that covenant. And like I said, this one is the covenant of Abraham. All right. 3 questions here. All right. To whom does God make this promise? All right. To whom does God make this promise? Number 2, what does God promise in this covenant? So you know how in the last one God promised to never flood the earth again? What did he promise in this one? And question number 3, what does Abraham have to do to initiate this covenant? So what does he have to do to go on through these steps and everything? All right. All right. Question number 1. Like we were saying, to whom does God make this promise to? Abraham, same person. That is who God made this one to. All right, number 2. What does God promise in this covenant? And he promised Abraham that he will to be a great nation, that he will bless him, that he will make his name great, and making him blessings for others. All right. Number 3. what does Abraham have to do to initiate this covenant? Like, what did he have to do in order for God to give him these things? So you know how for Noah, it said that he had to do nothing for the blessings that came. But for this one, Abram had to leave his country with his family and go to a land, and then and after that, I'll take. He said, after you go to the land, I will show you. All right. All right. Next covenant. And this one is covenant with Moses. Let me scroll down here. All right. Covenant with Moses. And this Moses is called to lead God's people. And when he says God's people, it puts quotations and says Abraham's descendants out of Egypt. And he does so. And in the wilderness, God makes a covenant to Moses and the Israelites. So that's what we're going to talk about on this one. All right. This one I'm going to Exodus chapter 19, verse 4 through 6. All right. And that reads, you yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey me fully, and keep my commandment, then out of the nations I will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and holy nations. These are the words are you speaking to the Israelites. Okay. All right, so let's see what we got here when it comes to some of those questions for that. All right, to whom does God make a promise to? Just like last question. So if you were listening to some of the words I said, you'll be able to know for that one. And then same question, just different thing. Number 2, what does God promise in this covenant? Number 3, what do the people need to do to keep their side of this covenant? And of course, that's the people of the Israelites. And number 4, knowing what you know about the Old Testament, do they do this? Did they do this? That's what I meant to say. All right, go back to question 1. To whom does God make this promise? And he made the promise to the people of Israel through Moses. All right, so it says via Moses, so through Moses. Number 2, what does God promise for this covenant? He promised that Israel will be his treasured possession, a kingdom of priests, and a holy nation. All right, so that's something that's big and grand, that he is going to make it a holy nation, and that nation is going to be his treasured possession. That's very highly. All right. All right. Number 3, what do the people need to keep their side of this covenant? All right, they must obey his voice and keep his covenant. All right, and number 4, knowing what you know about the Old Testament, and some of us may know a little more than others, did they follow or do what God said? And no, they were not. They were rebellious and caused themselves way more pain and things that weren't needed. Right? So let's see. All right, I think I got one more here for you, and this is the last one. Let me try to pull up the scriptures for it. Okay, I did. So this one is number 4, covenant number 4, the covenant of David, or with David. So we're going to go to 2 Samuel chapter 7, verses 12 through 17. All right. And that reads, when your days are over and the rest of your ancients, I will rise up your offspring to succeed you. your own flesh and blood, and I will establish his kingdom. He is the one who will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne in his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he will be my son. When he does wrong, I will punish him with the rod I brought in my hand. The floggings affected unhuman hands, but my love will never be taken away from him, as I took it away from Saul, whom I removed from before you. Your house and your kingdom will endure forever before me. Your throne will be established forever. Nathan reported to David all these words and his entire revelation. All right, so for this one, I just have three questions, and then we will be wrapping everything up for now. All right, number one, to whom does God make this promise? Number two, what does he promise? Number three, what does David have to do in return? All right, so number one, to whom does God make this promise? And that is David, or call him King David. Number two, what does he promise? He promises that his sons that he will build a house and give David the throne. All right. And number three, what does he have to do in return? Completely nothing. He has to do nothing at all, and he will be able to have those things within him. All right. So that is all I have for you guys today. Again, I apologize for the just the technical difficulties at the beginning where it was jumping around for about that 2 minutes. So I hope you guys are blessed and that you will have a remaining great Sunday. All right, if you're in town, we'll see you at church. Other nights, we'll watch you online. Be blessed.